reining it back to what tonight is all about. BBC Upload.
Upload. Get yourself on the BBC. Go to bbc.co.uk/upload and upload your content now.
I am so ready for this next guest. I don't know if you are, because there's so much to them. Shashabi Basu is a multilingual disabled journalist and editor and former senior intelligence expert. And she's also got a podcast, as well as being an award-winning activist. She's won the Emma Humphreys Memorial Prize for raising awareness on domestic violence, as well as being shortlisted for the Guardian Mary Stott Prize and longlisted for the Guardian International Development Journalism Award. According to Instagram, she's a tattooed vinyl collector, guitarist and finger painter. I think I'm impressed by both descriptions, to be honest. Hello, Shashabi, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you for... Look, you have done so many amazing things. I feel like we need a cuppa. We need to sit down, put our fluffy socks on to be able to unpick all of this. But alas, we've only got about 10, 15 minutes. So I'll try and get through as much as I can. You submitted the How to Be podcast. Here's a clip of what I found in my inbox at BBC Upload.
I think being a Southern woman from the deep South of the United States, I question things. I speak up. I will stand up to power. I will speak truth to power. I will flat out say when I think something is wrong or unjust. And a lot of times this isn't what is expected of Southern women, and it certainly is cause for men or other in power to wonder what's going on. So for me, it's standing up, stepping up, and speaking up.
Standing up, stepping up, and speaking up. Shashabi, this sounds amazing. Tell me about the How to Be podcast and how it started, because there's so much you're doing. How did you have time for a podcast, girl?
Because it was one of those moments where I was like, my God, I'm so far behind so many things, because I've been absolutely petrified of public speaking and, you know, working in sort of the journalism sphere and things like that. It seemed a bit ridiculous that I would be absolutely petrified of public speaking. So I was like, I have to conquer this fear. So the How to Be podcast started off as a aversion therapy, essentially, which was pushing myself into speaking, even though it meant hyperventilating for the first couple of episodes, just to try and get through the speaking aspect. And I was doing it whilst working and also whilst I was recovering from my weird degenerative illness. So I have relapses from time to time. So it was the best place to read and talk, all from my bed, which was fantastic.
Sure, and it's amazing that you've got all these ways to combine your loves. And every week, without fail, on the show, I always say that I don't know how to give every guest just one creative working title, because everyone has their hands in so many pies. What came first? Because there's so much that you do. You've achieved so much. From awards to raising awareness. Where did this all start for you?
I think it was so strange, because I found a file much later on in life where, when I was 12 years old, you're talking about, old school music songs that you hear in school. I found something, a blast from the past, where I saw a teacher had written in this file, "I hope you become a journalist one day and you live in China in your special flat." And that's actually what ended up happening years and years later. So it was a very strange, subconsciously, I was always gearing towards it. But in the meantime, I was always working in the sort of the NGO charity sphere, trying to do my bit for the community. And so before I went into full-blown journalism, I was really in the midst of all the sort of London Feminist Network, working with Million Women Rise, and just really sort of trying to raise awareness on lots of different, very, very important topics, and which is extremely relevant for now. And so this was years ago, though, like in 2006, 2007. So, it's so strange that after all these years, it's still very relevant, all of these areas. So, journalism after that ended up at ITV News and then Channel 4 News.
Super. And look, you've paved the way for all these subjects to be brought up and continued, which is really, really important. With your podcast particularly, is it always an angle sort of, discussing women's issues? I know that we talk about, you speak about dangerous women and what it is to be a woman, and all these things that are so important that play a part of life day to day. Tell me about some of those subjects.
So the topics are quite vast in terms of they are focused on social change, as well as just kind of understanding the world better in order to improve our mental well-being, because everything is seen through an intersectional perspective. You can look at things like not understanding your past or your history as a way to really sort of, damage your mental well-being. Same as sort of understanding about identity politics. How does that play into your life? So we're looking at social change through these incredible authors, and really sort of tackling these subjects from a range of different voices. So you heard in that clip there, that was the lovely Shannon Weatherly from the US, who, I thought was fantastic in terms of speaking about what's happening right now, obviously, in the US, which is very, very a serious situation in terms of Roe v. Wade.
Sure.
So, absolutely. It was like, these are like very important subjects, but everyone is kind of facing it in some shape or form and being affected by it through their mental health.
For sure. And as a journalist, I mean, news will have been such a big part of your role day to day. But there's so many people that sometimes switch on the news and find it hard to absorb, find it hard to digest, might not understand these things that they see. So a podcast is, I guess, also a really great way to not only discuss social change, but to educate people and help people digest things, I guess, in a more conversational manner. Have you had people reach out after listening to one of your episodes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been fantastic because the whole idea is that, as you say, it's like people kind of switch off after a while, especially when there's a lot to sort of delve into. So the whole point is all these books are condensed into kind of manageable chunks so that people can sort of make up their own mind in terms of, is this a book that I'd actually go out and read myself? Because, actually some of these ideas are really powerful and I'd actually like to explore more. So that's the whole point. So it's broken down into like much more manageable chunks. You have a summary at the end, so you can literally just get a bite-sized piece of sort of information in terms of, okay, this is what it's about. And so, I'm hoping that with that information, people can make their own informed choices about what's happening around them, even if it's very tricky subjects.
For sure. And as you say, it is that conversational tone with other people that are going to just help people ease in to topics that sometimes are hard to swallow, are hard to digest. So I absolutely love that. And you say on Instagram in your bio that you're a tattooed vinyl collector, guitarist and fingerpainter. How much do you get to do all of those things? Including getting tatted up, or is that something that came and went, or are you still, are there tattoos still to get? Have you got on your bucket list?
Yes, definitely. The thing is, it takes me about a year to prepare a tattoo because every single tattoo is designed by myself. So I have to kind of really like the tattoo a lot to kind of, just keep it there as on the back burner. So I've been designing one for like 5 years, just to make sure that I'm very happy with it. So yes, it's definitely there in the back burner at some point. Hopefully for a big one for my back again. So I've got quite a few already. But yes, this is hopefully the idea, which Wonderful. Is to get much more.
I love that. How long have you been playing guitar for?
Actually, it's quite crazy. I've been playing for 27 years, and it's unfortunately due to my condition, which is a degenerative illness which affects my limbs, it means I can't actually properly play my guitar anymore, which is quite sad. But I try and tinker with it as much as possible, and I've just taken up piano as a way to sort of manage a little bit of music in my life. But yes, I was always playing, a bit of Metallica. It's very popular now, of course, after Stranger Things. So yes, Master of Puppets was like, I loved playing Master of Puppets. So yes, it's still part of my life. Yeah.
I love that. And it's so important, isn't it, to find balance, because work can sometimes, it can take over. So the fact that you've got those things that that you can go to when that's the case, or even just when you've got a day off and a me day, you can enjoy all of those things. Look, how can people find you and find out more about the podcast?
Oh, amazing. So I'm at How to Be 247 on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm literally everywhere. And you can find the website on www.howtobe247.com. And hopefully I get to speak to some of you, and, feel free to reach out to me. So thank you so much for talking with me.
No, thank you so much for coming on. And I love content creators that are all up for, chatting to those that are listening and interacting with their following. It's just brilliant, because it really does become a total melting pot of creativity and people sharing ideas. And you never know, one of those people might be a perfect guest for your podcast in the future.
100%, exactly. And, we are all a community of creators, so absolutely.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. That's Shashabi Basu, who's uploaded to BBC Upload.